Hey everyone, I just answered a few emails now, and one of the replies I gave from a question I got saying, why don't people do something? Talking about that video I put up about that poor woman. Why don't people do something? Why don't people act? Why don't people do this? Why don't people do that? Well, the simple answer is that most people, most Americans, and I'm not saying all, but I'm saying most Americans, just are very content with just sitting on the couch, watching Dancing with the Stars, watching, Survivor, and worried about, Charlie Sheen or this one or Lindsay Lohan or who the biggest money maker is in basketball and all this other friggin' nonsense. Even my brother-in-law, the only thing you see him watch is football or basketball or all this craziness. We have these stars making millions of dollars every season, while the average American is making just barely enough money to friggin' survive and feed his family. Which brings me to another point. The average American right now is probably worried about, what are we worried about? Let's see, I would have to guess we're worried about, oh wow, taxes. Oh yeah, taxes, April 15th, guys. Make sure you get your friggin' tax forms filled out. Make sure you have all your dots, all your I's crossed, all your I's dotted, all your T's crossed before the government comes after you. So you could take that money and you could put it towards another 100 or so Tomahawk missiles. Unfriggin' believable. People don't realize what's going on in this country. They don't. I'm not advocating violence or anything, but I did mention, one guy said, what should we do? Maybe we should start doing like what the Middle East is doing, Just have enough people uprise and say enough of this bullshit. That's what I feel. I mean, I don't get usually upset. I usually, I know a lot of people heard me before. I made enough videos. You don't see me get upset. But after watching that video, that poor woman, that was no fake. She wasn't going on YouTube because she had nothing else to do. There are people dying down there. And they're still dying. That was about a month old. I mean, that wasn't a very new video. I think that video was taken like a month ago. Even if it was taken 2 months ago, what's the difference? One guy wrote, oh, it's an old video. Yeah, it's a month old or 2 months old. What's the difference? This woman wants her message out. She wants to make people aware of what this country is going through, what these governments, what these big companies are doing to us. They're putting poisons in the air, they're putting poisons in the food, they're putting poisons in the water, and they're saying, oh no, it's fine, it's fine. And what do? People try to get this word out, and they try to cover up the information. Like those cameramen, those poor cameramen last year. They tried to go on the Gulf, the beaches, and they were told, don't film, don't film. We're given orders by BP not to film here or you'll be arrested. Everyone should be taking those cameras and, everyone should be taking those people and smashing them with the camera. I mean, this is ridiculous. And I warned people and they just didn't want to listen. And now you have people on YouTube, like I said, they're begging and they're crying and they're pleading, and I feel bad for them, but, you can't wake up people unless they want to be woken up. And now it's getting so bad that, yeah, it takes something like this to wake people up when you're on the verge of dying with neurological problems and people vomiting from the co-exit and the chemicals that are in the system. So I just wanted to say to people, why are we in this situation? Because, like you see that picture, because most people are just couch potatoes. They're listening to CNN, they're listening to Fox News, and they're listening to all these people saying, oh no, it's okay, no radiation coming. No, it's okay, the waters are good. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the radiation. Don't worry about the co-exit that's on the bottom of the ocean that we put on the oil that, makes globs of it so it falls to the bottom of the ocean so it's out of people's sight. Don't worry about that. No, you're okay. You're okay. The beaches are clean. But if you dig like 6 inches down, you'll see all the oil is under there that we covered up. I think it's time for people to actually start rising up. And I'm actually thinking of actually doing something of making a group together, getting a group together and actually starting a kind of like a protest online about this. Maybe we could petition these companies and all these warmongers that are making wars all over the world. you know, because you know those tax dollars you're going to give in about a month, you know? Who do you think that's going to go to? You think that's going to go to the people in the hospitals laying there dying? You think that's going to go to all the people that are dying of radiation sickness right now? No. It's going to go for Tomahawk missiles and bombs and planes and all that other crap. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm sorry if I'm ranting, but I just am really upset because that woman that made the video got me very upset. And it's just sad that, you know, people have to suffer through this while the average American and, you know, the average teenager now, I don't want to bring that up. I'm 44 years old, and let me just say, you know, I enjoy technology. I enjoy playing a video game now and then with a couple of friends of mine. You know, I enjoy that. You know, I enjoy it. But you have these kids nowadays. They do nothing but play games and sit in front of their TVs for hours and hours and hours on end. And if they would take some time and just start to realize what's going on in the world and maybe protest against these things, these young people, maybe we wouldn't have this stuff going on, you know? Maybe we wouldn't. If you spent 15, 20 hours a day killing make-believe aliens and killing each other with make-believe bullets while real bombs and real missiles are going off, killing real people, maybe we'd be protesting against that instead of people worried about when the next iPad's coming out and is this one faster and that one faster. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I like my gadgets. I like them, but I'm not obsessed with them. I use them for news mostly. I have an iPod Touch that I use mostly to get the news out to people, to find out news, to find out information. So, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just very, very upset. And the more I reply to people and the more they reply to me, the more upset I get. So, anyway, that's my little rant for the day. You don't usually hear me rant, but I had to get that off my chest. It feels good. Take it easy, folks. Be well. Bye.